Hi everybody, my name is Douglas Fantini and today we're gonna talk about the question, is it possible to speak English like a native? Let's check this out in this video.
Moment. Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm.
Okay, this is a question that is not so easy to answer. What is exactly a native? We have to understand this. And it is easy to know when a person comes from another country to our country. We recognize by the way of how the person speaks our native language, and we understand that they are not exactly from here. Recognize the accent, or maybe sometimes this person will make confusion between some words and they cannot differentiate words that we native speakers in our country, we know how to differentiate. And if in your country you have people from north and you have people from south, and depending on the accent you can recognize where is this person from, or for some details of the language that we native speakers can understand. But the greatest problem is that when we are learning a different language, different from our country. I am in Brazil and I speak Portuguese and I'm learning English, and people watching this video can recognize that I am not a native speaker because my way of speaking is different from a native speaker. My selection of words is different from the native speakers. They maybe would choose different words that I am choosing now, and they recognize that I'm not a native, and this is okay. We have to be understood by the people that we are talking to. If you understand me, this is what I really want, that you understand me. But let's talk about this. What is exactly a native? Let's take a look on the screen. A native is a person who has spoken the language in question from earliest childhood. Since they were a child, they speak that language. Their education from the beginning was in that language. I am learning English, but I started learning English when I was 12 years old. So this is very different. It was not from my childhood. It was after I started being a teenager with 12 years old. Not 12, but 13 are teenagers. But in my case, I was 12 years old and I was studying English. I don't know about you, but maybe you started in the beginning of your life, or you started studying English after you were a teenager or at school, or some people I know when they are adults after they're 20 years old, for example. And another definition for native speaker is a person who learned to speak the language of the place where he or she was born as a child, rather than learning it as a foreign language. In my case, English is a foreign language. So I cannot be a native speaker because I was not born in an English-speaking country. So this is impossible for me. I'm not a native. I learn English as a second language. I don't know if you live in a country who speaks English, and if you live there from the beginning of your life. I live here in Brazil. We speak a very different language and not the English language. We speak Portuguese here. I'm not a native. Okay, now let's give some examples. Let's talk about some examples of native speaker. Who are these native speakers? Who are these people exactly? Let's take a look. Someone who both speaks English as their first language and is a citizen of one of the following countries: England, USA, Ireland, Scotland, Australia, etc. These are just examples of English-speaking countries because we have more, okay? So it is not just these countries. I didn't put here, but in Canada, you speak English as well. A very beautiful English, by the way. Okay, after knowing what is a native speaker, do you consider yourself one of them? Now you know where you live and what is the time that you started to learn the language that we are talking about, the English language. But if you're learning French, depending on if you are in a country who speaks French or if you are in a country who speaks English from the beginning of your life, depending on this will tell you if you are native or not. And what about you? Can you write down in the comments if you are learning English as a second language? If you are here in this video, you're learning English as a second language, as I am doing. So this is the reason why you are here. The right question for us now, it is not to speak like a native speaker, but to sound more natural. So what do you really want? This is something that we can reach more easily than to speak like a native. So sound more natural. With practice, I think you can. But being a native speaker, it is just if you're born in a country that speaks English from the beginning, or if you are a citizen of a country, you could consider yourself, since from your childhood, a native English speaker. Okay, and sounding more natural could be useful for you so the other people can understand you, and it will be easier for you to understand the people as well. If you sound natural, if you speak the word clear in a clear way, other people will understand you and you will understand other people. This is something that you have to be careful about to sound more natural. It is not so easy to think like a native think. They are living in that country from their childhood. They know the details of the language. They have experienced things that we as English as second language learners, we haven't experienced it yet. But now we are improving ourselves. And talking about improving your English, I have this card I will leave here so you check on this video about 7 tips to quickly improve your English. So check on this video. I think you're gonna like it so much and you will improve your English with this detail. So check on this video, okay? How can you think as a native speaker? If you ask them, what is the difference between just and only? And they will say, just and only are similar words, but depending on the context, you will choose this word instead of this word. So just and only can be a little bit different. For example, if you are in a restaurant and the waiter asks, what do you want to order? And you say just water or only water, this can slightly be different in this case, because if you want just water, it is because you don't want anything other than water. You just want water. But if you say, I want only water, it is because no matter what, you can have another thing, but only water would be great for you. So there's no problem on having only water. But if you have something else, I could take, but only water could be great. Can you understand that this is for people who understand the language, who have experienced the language? Language is not just a combination of words or something, but it is something about comprehension and understanding and experiences and communicating with people more and more. Practicing, you will be better if you do this, if you have this environment of the language that you're learning. Another thing is the pronunciation. Is it to have a similar pronunciation as they have? For example, if you speak with a very good accent and pronunciation, if your pronunciation is very good, this makes you a native speaker? I don't think so, because maybe you can pronounce the words, but the combination of them is not that good like a native would do. If they were in your place, they would choose maybe different words as you just did. And take a look at this sentence, for example. It's not easy to me. When you say it's not easy to me, this is all combined. The words are linked to one to the other, and it is like, it's not easy to me. It's not easy to me. But if you read this sentence, it says it is not easy to me. But when you say all together, when you pronounce all together, it says, it's not easy to me. This is something that you need to practice because they speak like that. I know that you heard a lot of people speaking English and they are from different countries with different accents of the language, but they speak in a different way. But most of them says, it's not easy to me. You can sound more natural when you speak like them, but not equal. And the grammar structure that native speakers use, sometimes we think, oh my God, I need to know all the grammar and all difficult words of the language. But no, you just need to know the words that make communication possible. If you look at the native speakers speaking, they will choose basic words to use in the communication. They will choose verbs like get, like have, like do, and combine this with other words or verbs to make the conversation flow and to make the conversation and the words combine. For example, let's say do your hair or get the bus, have dinner. They will combine these simple words that we know we learned from school in the beginning. And if you know how to use this and the combination with other words, you will know the very important expressions to use during a conversation. Think like them, not so difficult. We think that is difficult, but they don't use like that. And you will also listen to people speaking with some fillers, those small words that you can put in the middle of the sentences or in the beginning of the sentences, in the middle of your conversation, to fill the space while you are thinking. For example, words like basically, I mean, I know, or you know, you're thinking and oh my God. And like, for example, you use words like this just to fill the space where there's no communication. You're just thinking. But this is important to know. Where can you use these fillers? For example, when you're nervous, you're talking with those people for the first time and you don't know how to use the words and you're nervous because it is your first time speaking English or any other language that you're learning. Try to put these fillers inside of your sentences. When you don't know what to say, you have to say something. I will start thinking about the story I'm gonna tell you. When you're trying to remember something, oh my God, I'm trying to remember what is I'm going to talk to you. I would like to say something to you, but I just don't remember. Give me a second so I can remember what I am going to tell you. When you want to use up time, people tell you, you are going to have a conversation for 2 minutes. And both of you guys don't know what to say to each other. And you want to use up time, to use more time with words that don't say anything, but you are speaking those words just to use up time. When you want to make your conversation weaker or stronger, you use these words to make this. So basically, or you also can use these words to keep the attention of the person that you're talking to. Let me tell you something. When you say this, people will look at you and try to know what are you talking about, because you say, let me tell you something. Okay, go ahead. And they are going to look at you and pay attention at you. So we're going to keep the attention of the listener. Okay, some other group of words that can help you during a conversation and not to be like a native but to sound more natural are words like sort of or kind of or kinda. I'm kinda nervous, so this is the reason why I cannot choose the correct words to talk to you now, or it is just something like that, or sort of, or kind of. These are vague words. They don't say anything, but they fill the space while you're thinking. They will help you. And as I said before, native speakers will choose easy words, simple words, instead of complex words. They prefer, for example, saying, I got back home, instead of saying, I returned. It's a little bit complex or more formal. Let's use come back or got back. I got back home, and not I returned home. And sometimes we learn something in school and we want to use this in real conversations, but the problem is the theory is not as the practice, because when you practice, you will see what is real, what is really happening during a conversation. They say you need a subject for a sentence. I have, or you have, she has. You listen to some people saying this sentence, hello, haven't seen you for ages. Haven't seen you for ages. You don't need to put the I haven't seen you for ages. Yes, in grammar, I need this. But in real situations, when I'm having a conversation with someone, I will just use like this. Hello, haven't seen you for ages. Hello, haven't seen you for ages. Without the I, haven't seen you for ages. And okay, everybody, I hope you guys love this video because I love doing this to you, recording these videos to you, because I study a little bit about the subject that I'm going to talk with you guys, to share this with you. If you want more videos like this, put down in the comments, suggest what you want for the next video. Let me know about the questions that you have about the English language. We're going to record a new video for you with new subjects, and we're gonna have fun studying this beautiful language together. So guys, thank you so much for being here with me. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Moment. Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm.